It's time. There's the Mike Kazarian theme. Lender's Choice Mortgage. The broker owner is with us. It's very exciting when this happens. And I do have something legal to say here. Mike is the owner and broker owner of Lender's Choice Mortgages, an independently owned and operated member of Mortgage Alliance, license number 13582. It sounds very official for somebody that I golf with most Saturday mornings, and some of the silly things we say to one another. In fact, here's the funny thing, Kaz. I was going to wait till the season, but I'm now going to put 13582 on all my golf balls.
I love it.
So, like, when you're like, if you had to throw a ball back to me, you'd be like, "What is this, Howard? Why does it say 13582?" I'll tell you why, Kazaroo. Hey, Mikey, welcome back to the program. It's all about mortgages. So you've been telling us that you're getting some humble and afraid listeners are reaching out to you and having conversations. What are those conversations like?
They're different conversations because everyone has different needs, but like one is a purchase. So clients purchasing a new home, they need a mortgage. They went to their own financial institution. They give us a call to see if we can offer them better rates, better terms, better advice. Another client had a mortgage renewal. Can we offer better rates? We can, than what they were getting. So, they're just shopping around, like everyone's already deals with their current financial institution and they want to get a secondary opinion. So they're giving me a call. It's fantastic.
Mike, what would you say to somebody who goes, "Oh, I want to do it with a bank because they've been around for years and they're institutions that I can trust. I can't go to a private mortgage company." What would you say to that?
Well, can I respond in the same voice that you use?
Yes, do that voice. Do one of your characters.
Well, I would say to him like this. I would say, "Well, we deal with the banks as well."
Yeah.
So yeah. I would say, look, we deal with the banks. So, again, like Howard has said, we don't have any preference to anyone. So we're going to go wherever it makes sense for you.
Yes.
What if they said in a voice like this, Mike? What if they said, "Hey, Mikey, can you help us out a little bit?" All jokes aside, there was a story yesterday that the Bank of Canada, inflation has come down, and the Bank of Canada there was a story in the Globe about contemplating next year in 25, possibly starting to look at a rate cut. So I was using that as when we were talking about Lender's Choice yesterday. I said, I wonder what Mike's perspective on this is. And like, so let's say somebody's mortgage is up this year. Here's the scenario. What do you tell them when they call and say, "Well, listen, if the rate comes down next year, what kind of mortgage should I get? And how should I renew it so that I can take advantage of the rate if it falls?"
That's a great question. So right now, the Bank of Canada rate is at 5%. The prime rate, what we pay with the bank's charge, is 7.2%. That's their prime rate. But the Bank of Canada rate is 5%. The neutral rate that the bank is typically at is anywhere between 2.5% to 3%. And that's where the Bank of Canada wants to be at once they get inflation down and inflation isn't stuck, right? So we're going to see rates come down anywhere, or possibly could see rates come down anywhere from 2 to 2.5%. And National Bank just came out with a report this morning. They're forecasting at 2.5%. Sorry, they're forecasting 1.25% rate decrease by the end of 2024. So if somebody has a mortgage coming up for renewal next year, I'd be like, "Look, sit tight. There's nothing you're going to do with your mortgage right now because you're going to pay a penalty to break it."
But what if they're in my scenario though? What if their renewal is this year, and there is a big? Let's say it's in April, and at the end of 24, their rates go down. It goes down even further in 25. Can you help them find the right mortgage so that they can take advantage of it?
Yeah,
like
for
a
sure.
variable
So
rate?
we're going to look at a 1, 2, or 3 year fixed rate, or quite possibly now we're going to look at a variable rate mortgage. So depending on the discount that we get on a variable rate mortgage, that might be a great option for a lot of people, because then as the Bank of Canada lowers rates next year, in 2020, 2024, 2025, they're going to take, they're going to get advantage of having a lower interest rate. So, look, if interest rates come down 2% over the next year and a half, 2 years, and you're in a variable rate mortgage, you're going to benefit. If you're in look, I can tell you a lot of people want a 4 or 5 year fixed rate. They come to me right now. I'm like, why would you want a 4 or 5 year fixed rate? Are you projecting interest rates to come down? And they would say, yeah. Well, then why would you want to lock in for a longer term? Well, some people want the peace of mind. I would probably persuade them not to go with a 4 or 5 year fixed rate based on, their expectation that rates are going to come down. So, that's the discussion that we're going to have. And, I think we talked about this before. Everyone has a different risk tolerance. If somebody says to me, oh, I can't sleep at night if interest rates are going to go up or down, then a variable rate mortgage is maybe not the best product for you.
But that's the thing about the variable rate, too. Like, over time, over history, it's been a good way to go, hasn't it, for a lot of people? But again, you don't have the tolerance for it.
You're right. I think historically, the variable rate has been about half a point better than the fixed rates.
Yeah. My mother-in-law was like that. She always went variable, and it was proven to her over the length of her mortgages that,
And how did she sound?
It worked to her benefit.
How would she sound when she was talking about her rate? She said, Freddie, get the variable rate, Freddie.
Yeah, she would.
Mike, if somebody's got a renewal, and we had talked about this last month about how there's millions of Canadians' mortgages coming due this year and next year. And now with this news that there could be finally an easing of this rate, is a 1 year. A 1 year rates like the lower the term, the higher the rate. Is that how it works?
It is right now. Yeah. So on a 1 year fixed rate, you're paying over 7%. These are I'm just quoting the posted rates. Like TD Bank is 7.03% on a 1 year, 6.47% on a 2 year, and 5.96% on a 3 year. Those are just the posted rates in a 30-year amortization. But you can see you're paying a premium for a 1 year, about a half a point compared to a 2 year, and another half a point compared to a 3 year.
So might you have a conversation with someone and say, listen, we'll bite the bullet a little bit on the rate in this 1 year fixed, if that makes you comfortable. And then when things do start to come down, you're at least sometime in the middle of next year, you'll be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, but then that opens the question to why not consider a variable rate mortgage?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's why they need people like you, Mike.
That's right.
Yeah. Look, guys.
No, needs to be explained.
Mike.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, 3 clients, just examples of conversations I've had this week. And most people, the very first question is, what's your best rate? And it's such a loaded question because, what's your goal? Are you planning on staying in that property for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Are you planning on moving? Are you planning on moving up? Are you planning on selling? What is your goal? So, I really need to understand, what your goal is before I can tell you what the best rate is. Because, the best rate I'm going to tell you is a 5-year fixed rate. Do you want to go into a 5-year fixed rate with interest rates coming down? So that's one thing people ask me. Another one, this week, I had a client who has a variable rate mortgage at prime minus 0.25%. Well, we can get a considerably better rate on that mortgage right now. Their penalty to break their mortgage is going to be about $10,000. After building in the penalty, we're going to save the client almost $9,500. So does it make sense for them to break their mortgage? 100% it does. So,
and what's the third scenario?
These are conversations you need to have.
Okay. Sure. Well, and that's why it's not just as cut and dry as give me your best rate. That's why the conversation has to happen with Mike Kazarian. As you can tell, he seems to know his stuff. I mean, I've known him for years. I had no idea this was the level. I had no idea when I was sealing your fries that this was the level of mortgage acumen that you were possessing, and completely taking me by surprise. So I'm very excited.
Thank you, Howard.
Was that a compliment?
Yeah, it was. I don't think he took it as a compliment.
I was going to say, first minute I met you, Mike, I knew you were brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is all. Listen, mostly our conversations are so filled with nonsense, but here is the real deal. Kazarian is the owner of Lender's Choice Mortgage. More information, just go to lenderschoice.ca. And get an appointment with Mike, even if it's just, listen, if your mortgage is due next year, start now and find the pathway to a better future for you and your family. How's that sound?
That was sweet, Howard.
Thank you, my friend.
That was really sweet.
Hey, Kaz, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.